Welcome to my 2016 favorites. This first one is going to be part one of my 2016 skincare favorites. I've had to split it all up because there's so much stuff that I want to talk to you guys about, especially having missed out on a couple of monthly favorites videos and having tried so much stuff in 2016, as well as having gotten very into K-beauty over the last maybe 6 to 8 months. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about and also explain how it works and why it works for me so that you guys will know whether it will work for you. So yeah, a bit of my biomedical science student stuff is going to come into it, but I'm going to make it all very user-friendly, you know what I mean? You don't need to be a science student to understand the stuff that I'm going to talk to you about. The whole idea for me is to make this stuff accessible to everyone so that you can understand your skincare, and that way you can choose products that are better for you. So yeah, part one is going to be makeup removers. I've got it all written down here. The cotton pads that I use because those are awesome and they're so cheap. Cleansers, clay masks, exfoliating products, and my awesome favorite toner. Part two is going to be essences, ampules, serums, and eye creams. Part three will be moisturizing products and sleeping masks, an awesome lip mask that I've discovered. And some facial mists, which I've gotten so into. They are such a game changer for me. And part four, because these really need and deserve a video of their own, sheet masks. I'm obsessed. Then we move into makeup. So yeah, there's gonna be 8 videos coming up in total. I really wanted to make an event of this. So yeah, with makeup, part one is going to be primers, foundations, concealers, and powders. Part two is going to be contours, highlights, blushes, and setting sprays, because I didn't really know where else to put those. Part three is going to be eye primer, eyeshadows, eyeliners, mascaras, and brow products. And part four will be lip liners, lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, an awesome lip tint that I found, and lip glosses. So yeah, I feel like that's a really good way to divide things up. And this way I can deliver all of this content to you guys in shorter videos, so I'm not overwhelming you with a 40-minute extravaganza that, I mean, no one's really gonna watch, who has time for that? So yeah, I feel like this is a better format in which to do this, and I can film them all today, hopefully. I am ambitious, if nothing else. So yeah, let's get into the first, skincare stuffs. Good. Okay, so to start off with, my go-to cotton pads, and I've tried pretty much every different kind of cotton pad that you can get in stores in Australia at this point, and been very disappointed with a lot of them. A lot of them fall apart and leave fluff on your skin and get fibers in your eyes, and they're just horrible. And then there are others that absorb tons of, your toner or makeup remover or whatever, but then it doesn't transfer onto your skin. It's it holds onto it. These ones do none of that. They don't fall apart on me, they don't leave fibers on my face or fluff, and they absorb tons of product but also dispense tons of product. So yeah, these are the Target Essentials Cosmetic pads. You get 160 in here and they're $2. So yeah, highly recommend checking these out, especially if you've had a lot of frustration with cotton pads like I have. These ones are just easy, they're cheap, and they do everything you want them to and nothing you don't want them to. So yeah, I love these things. Stay. Next up, makeup removers. The first one is purely a makeup remover for me. I don't use this for just general cleansing, but I do the other one. The first one is the Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water in Oil. This one I use to remove any of my waterproof makeup. It is important to have an oil-based cleanser or makeup remover to get rid of the things like SPF and makeup residue that doesn't dissolve in water. There are a lot of products that we use on our face that aren't necessarily just waterproof mascara, that other makeup removers are going to have a lot of trouble shifting. So I do think it's important for everyone to have some kind of oil cleanser. Having said that, it is important to be careful what kind of oils you use. And this is where some of the science stuff comes in. One of the things to look out for when you're choosing an oil or an oil cleanser or anything oil related, I guess, in terms of your skincare, is to consider your skin type. Because with oily skin, well, with anyone's skin type really, you've got a balance of different fatty acids. And the two that are of interest in this case are oleic acid and linoleic acid. So people who have oily skin have too much oleic acid, which makes the sebum thicker. And you know, when you produce a lot of it, of course, that's going to clog your pores and that sort of stuff. So people with oily skin need oils that have a lot of linoleic acid in them. Things like evening primrose oil, for example, is fantastic for people with oily skin. Rosehip oil is good as well. It's got less linoleic acid, but still has a lot more linoleic than oleic. So that one's great for people with oily skin as well. And it's easier to get hold of than evening primrose oil. Whereas people with dry skin, our sebum is very thin, and that's because we have too much linoleic acid and not enough oleic acid. So things like jojoba oil, for example, is amazing for people with very, very dry skin, and that's part of the reason, as well as it being very hydrating in itself. You know, it's very good at, well, not hydrating, moisturizing really. And there is a difference between those two things. Hydrating means it draws moisture into your skin. Moisturizing means it keeps the moisture there. It holds onto moisture and keeps it in your skin. Yeah, you know, moisturizers can also include things that are occlusive, so they stop the moisture leaving your skin. But yeah, so, you know, when you have dry skin, you need those types of oils. So for me, this one's fantastic because argan oil is very high, well, is much higher in oleic acid than linoleic acid. So this one's great for very dry skin. But yeah, if you have dry skin, I highly recommend this one. I'm gonna do some research and see if I can find some oils and oil cleansers and things like that to recommend for oily skin using my science brain. So that'll be a video coming up soon after I've done all this like 2016 favorite stuff. So keep an eye out for that one if that's something that interests you. But yeah, this is amazing for removing waterproof makeup and SPF and that sort of stuff. But I also love that because of the oils in it, it doesn't leave my skin parched. You know, it leaves my skin feeling hydrated. Obviously, if I don't apply anything after this, my skin dries out over the next maybe half hour or so and it starts to feel tight. But I love that this doesn't strip my skin in and of itself. Yeah, the best way I found to use any kind of makeup remover really is just to soak a cotton pad and hold it over your eye for maybe like between 30 seconds and a minute. I tend to do a full minute because I wear a lot of waterproof makeup because my eyes are so watery. And that sort of dissolves it and soaks it off so that you don't have to rub at your eyes at all. The other one is my morning cleanser, and this is another tip for people with any kind of skin type. You don't really necessarily need a proper full-on cleanser first thing in the morning, and avoiding over-cleansing is very important, especially for people with very dry skin or very oily skin, because if you over-cleanse with very oily skin, your skin is going to produce excess oil to try and compensate because it's going to freak out because, you know, your skin's too dry. That's the only thing your body can do to try and protect your skin. It's not going to rehydrate it though, so if you have oily skin, you can still have dehydrated skin because obviously oil and water are not the same thing. So yeah, and then if you have very, very dry skin, you don't want to strip it, especially first thing in the morning. You want to keep as much hydration in your skin as you can throughout the day. So using something like this as your first thing in the morning cleanser, just to kind of, you know, take off the skincare that you applied the night before, but without stripping your skin. Micellar waters are fantastic for that, and I really like this one because it's very, very gentle. It's aimed at sensitive skin. It says suitable for all skin types, but I mean, like, you know, really that means okay if your skin freaks out a lot. So yeah, awesome for me. Okay, next up is my nighttime cleanser, and I am so hooked on this stuff. Oh my god. I've been getting very into acids in terms of my skincare, like alpha hydroxy acids, AHAs, and beta hydroxy acids, BHAs. The main difference between the two is that AHAs are water soluble and BHAs are oil soluble. That means that BHAs can penetrate deeper into your pores. They can get through the oil. So yeah, BHAs are better for people with oily and acne prone skin. AHAs are better for people with, you know, you might have a bunch of blackheads like I used to, but your skin is more on the dry side. Your sebum isn't as thick, you don't have as much oil. AHAs are also excellent in terms of anti-aging. Like, oh my god, they're amazing for sun damage in particular. You know, and sort of improving your skin texture and that sort of thing. So if you're looking for an excellent anti-aging product, AHAs are affordable and they work. So yeah, my cleanser at the moment is a BHA cleanser. It's the Cosrx Salicylic Acid Exfoliating Cleanser. This one, I and it's so good, good. Yeah, when I started using AHAs, my skin cleared up tremendously, but I still had a few little areas where my skin was very congested. You know, I had lots of blackheads and little bumps under my skin, and this cleared that up within like less than a week. It was incredible. You know, I used this once, and the next morning my skin was softer and smoother, and these areas around the sides of my nose that have always been congested no matter what I do were clearer. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep using this. I like this. It's also awesome because it's so affordable. I think this was about 10 bucks on eBay with free shipping. So yes, please. What I love about Cosrx products is that they're all very simple. They seem to do one thing exceptionally well. And I think, you know, a lot of the time you end up with these multitasking products that have ingredients that don't necessarily work well together. So I really appreciate that about Cosrx products, the whole focusing on one thing aspect. But yeah, this cleanser I highly recommend, especially to people with oily and acne-prone skin, because of course, salicylic acid, that's a BHA, it can get through your oil, clear your pores. Yeah, this stuff's just fantastic. And you can also use other acids in addition to this because it is quite mild, so there's that. I love it so much. Next up is my favorite clay mask, and this one I've been using for a couple of years now. I have the old packaging, so it doesn't look like this anymore, but you can still buy it. It's the Nutrimetics Mineral Mask, Clay Mask, with soybean oil, and I love this so much. It's so good. I've literally never found a clay mask that's as thorough and effective as this one. Like, I've used so many over the years, especially in my quest to find something that would, you know, clear my blackheads, because like I said, I've always had pretty good skin, but my blackheads were something that just would not shift, and even if I could, you know, get rid of them temporarily, they'd just come back. You know, and I was relying on this solely for a long time to clear my skin, and it does the job, but of course you need other leave-on products like a leave-on, you know, BHA or AHA to keep your skin clean. So I don't really use this anymore, but if you're looking for a clay mask that will work better than anything else, this is it. It also works really well to bring things to the surface and help clear deep congestion in your skin. You know, like when you get those little bumps but they just never seem to eventuate. This is fantastic for that as well. It has a really decent amount of kaolin in it. It's literally the second ingredient on the list, which, you know, shows you that it's the second highest concentration. Kaolin, oh my god, kaolin is amazing. Like, my great aunt was a nurse in World War II, and my dad always tells a story about how my great uncle, you know, her brother-in-law, I think, stood on a nail, and he got a shard of it stuck in his foot, poor bugger. And, you know, my great aunt, my great auntie Elsie, she was like, you know, okay, I know what to do with this. She stuck a lump of kaolin on his foot, and it drew out the shard over the course of a couple of days. Wow. Like, this is powerful stuff. If it can draw a nail shard out of a wound, and I mean, you know, apparently that's something that people used to use a lot back then, because, I mean, you know, it's obviously better than a surgical intervention, you know. So it was something that she knew and had used as a nurse, you know, for similar applications, and also to kind of draw poisons and toxins and, you know, infection and stuff like that out of wounds. So yeah, kaolin is amazing. Yeah, so this one, love it, get it, so good. The next product is an exfoliator, and I've had a lot of trouble with exfoliators over the years because my skin's so delicate and sensitive because of my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Abrasive exfoliators are too harsh for me, and to be honest, I don't recommend them anyway because they cause a lot of micro damage to your skin. And I mean, that's gonna increase inflammation, and you know, it makes your skin more vulnerable to damage and sun damage because obviously your skin surface is compromised in a way that it just shouldn't be. I mean, microdermabrasion, things like that, that's fantastic because it's removing an even layer, but with, you know, really sort of grainy exfoliating products, you're just scrubbing at your skin, and oh, that's so damaging. So I tend to recommend chemical exfoliators and things like this. This is the Mizon, which is a South Korean brand. Special Care Apple Smoothie Peeling Gel. Oh my god, my words. This is what the packaging looks like. You get a ton in this stuff, and you only need to use a very small amount, like maybe a 20-cent piece size amount. Yeah, it's so thorough. It also has a bit of AHA and a bit of BHA in it, so it has that extra level of acid exfoliation as well. They're at quite high concentrations, so this is a sort of once or twice a week kind of exfoliating product. It's a gommage type of exfoliator, which is very popular in Korea because it works and it's so gentle. Acid's really the most gentle way to exfoliate your skin. This is the second most gentle way, because it starts off as a liquid, like a gel kind of consistency, and you know, dampen your face just with water and then massage it into your skin. And it's a smooth consistency, so it's not like causing abrasion, but it lifts dead skin and gunk out of your skin. And as it does, it pills up. So you get these little like pills and balls of stuff all over your skin, and they're taking away all of the gunk and dead skin cells that the acids are lifting up. So it's a very thorough once or twice a week kind of exfoliant. And I mean, this is the best one I've tried, hands down. I've been through a lot of these types of products because, I mean, they're so gentle and they're so effective, but this one definitely takes the cake. So if you're interested in trying that kind of product, if you want to exfoliate your skin more, but you know, abrasive type products are kind of off-putting, and they should be, to be fair, yeah, this is fantastic. Super gentle and excellent for acne-prone skin as well, which is also a skin type that really should be protected from abrasion, because obviously that's going to leave you vulnerable to breakouts. So yeah, this is excellent for really any kind of skin type. I just adore it. Okay, so we're down to the last two products for this video. The first one is my Leave-On AHA treatment, and I absolutely love this stuff. When I started using it, it was the first new thing that I'd added into my skincare in a while, and it revolutionized the way I look after my skin. Yeah, it's what got me into acid treatments, and it's the Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 8% AHA Gel. This stuff is incredible. Oh my god. This is actually a very high concentration AHA, so I do recommend starting off with something gentler. You know, I think they do a 2% or a 4%, something like that. I recommend starting off with that one because I went headlong into this and I did have some irritation as a result. I had to start off using it, you know, tiny amounts like every other night and build it up. If you start off with a lower concentration, you can just use it pretty normally from the word go, and then, you know, switch up to something higher concentration like this. But I mean, as I was saying, you know, AHAs are amazing for anti-aging and for improving your skin texture, as well as, you know, clearing your pores if you have a sort of, you know, a drier skin type, because as I said, you don't produce as much oil, your sebum isn't as thick, so you don't necessarily need a BHA to get through all that. I did to get through the last of it, but this is what got rid of the majority of my blackheads in like 2 days flat. Like, mind blown. It completely screwed with me. Like, I was so expecting them to come back. Like, nothing's ever worked that effectively and had no strings attached, you know? But this does. It's just good for your skin. Like, yeah, mind blown. The other things that I've noticed with this one over time, because I've been using this for about 8 months now, the other things that I've noticed with this are massive improvements in my skin texture. I've always had a lot of texture on my forehead and across my cheeks, and it's always really bothered me. It affected how my foundation sat, and it just made me self-conscious. Even if no one else noticed it, it made me feel self-conscious, and that's what counts, you know? All of this is about how you feel about yourself and taking care of yourself and your skin. So yeah, with this stuff, my skin texture has completely changed. The enlarged pores on like my nose and across my cheeks, which are uncommon in someone with very dry skin, but for me it's related to my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Collagen is important for the structure of your pores, you know, the integrity of your skin. And if your collagen is too lax and too stretchy, you can end up with enlarged pores, even if you have a drier skin type. So yeah, fun. All the dryness and all the big pores, yay. But I don't have that problem anymore because this stuff fixed it, which I don't even understand how that works because it's related to my collagen, but I mean, I do know that AHAs help with collagen synthesis and cell turnover, so it's probably something to do with that, I'm guessing. I really want to look into that more and understand the science a bit better, but yeah, that's my understanding at this point. The AHA in this one is glycolic acid, which is particularly good for anti-aging as well, so there is that. But yeah, it's also, because it's an exfoliant, I don't get dry patches on my skin anymore. Like, maybe once in a blue moon, if I'm having a flare-up of my chronic illness symptoms and I don't look after my skin properly for a few days, then obviously, yeah, that's a totally different matter because I'm not using the usual skincare properly. But so long as I keep using this, I don't get dry patches. I just don't. It just takes care of anything that shows up, and then my skin isn't clogged with this dry layer, so all of my other skincare absorbs better as well. So yeah, I cannot recommend this highly enough. You can also use AHAs and BHAs together, but I think in order to maximize the benefits you get out of them, I would say use them at opposite ends of the day. Most BHAs you can use in the morning perfectly fine, but AHAs you want to stick to using at night because they increase your sensitivity to sun damage. You know, partly because they're clearing everything off the surface of your skin, so of course it's going to be more vulnerable. But you do also want to make sure that as long as you're using a leave-on acid treatment, you always want to make sure that you use sunscreen every day, even if it's winter, even if you're not going outside, just make sure you're protecting your skin. But yeah, I mean, as I said, this is going to help with sun damage in addition to that, so even if you're someone who's never looked after your skin, never protected it from the sun, if you start using this, protect your skin from the sun. It will make a massive difference in the sun damage that you've accrued to that point, and obviously using sunscreen is going to prevent further damage, so, you know, there's that. It's also important to get the most benefit out of, you know, leave-on acid treatments, to use them as your first step after you've cleansed your skin, and leave it for like 20 minutes. Just put it on and leave it for like 20 minutes before you put anything else on your skin to let it do its thing uninterrupted, because these things can be a bit temperamental. And as I said, AHAs are not oil soluble, so if you put something on your skin that has oils in it, it's going to interfere with its ability to work. So yeah, I just recommend, like I said, leaving it to do its thing for about 20 minutes and then moving on with your skincare. 20 minutes is plenty. Really, 10 minutes is good, but 20 minutes is better. So, you know, it depends on how much time you have, but 10 minutes is still gonna make it work better than it would otherwise. So yes. The final product is a toner, and oh my god, I love this toner so much. Personally, I think everyone should be using a hydrating toner, because as I said before, even if you have oily skin, you can still have dehydrated skin, and making sure your skin is properly hydrated, protected, and moisturized is really important, because with oily skin, if it's dehydrated, it's going to produce more oil and, you know, thicker oil. So yeah, hydrating toner is important for everyone, regardless of your skin type. Everyone can benefit from a hydrating toner. My favorite one for this year, hands down, is the Skin Food Royal Honey Essential Toner. I only have a little sample size at the moment because I couldn't afford to get the full bottle. It's like $20, but I just didn't have the money, so I got a whole bunch of little sample sizes because it was like $5 for 4 or something like that. And you know, I've just been like conserving it and working my way through it. This is all I have left, but my next full bottle is due to arrive at like the end of January, so oh my god, I can't wait. It's so good. The other thing about honey is that it's a powerful antibacterial product. That's not just an old wives' tale. I mean, people have been using honey on wounds and cuts and things like that for thousands of years because it seemed to prevent infection. And now we know that that's because of the antibacterial agents in honey. It actually works. There's also a lot of research going on at the moment into particular types of honey, including Manuka honey or Manuka honey, depending where you're from. Just because of its massive potential for, you know, antibacterial applications. So putting honey products on your skin is excellent for so many different reasons. If you have very sensitive skin, honey is very soothing. So it's great if you have a lot of rosacea or your skin is easily irritated, especially by things like, you know, pollution, environmental irritants, that kind of stuff. Honey is fantastic. If you have very dry skin, it's a humectant, so it draws moisture into your skin, but it's also slightly occlusive, so it helps keep moisture in your skin. So as a toner, it's fantastic because it's very light, but it's adding good stuff to your skin really effectively. And of course, if you have oily skin, you know, more hydration, more good stuff, but if it's acne prone in particular, those antibacterial aspects to it are going to be very helpful to you. So really, this is a product I would recommend to absolutely everyone. It's just gorgeous, and it feels so comfortable and comforting on your skin. You know, like after you've cleansed, it just feels like this like comforting blanket of hydration on your skin without any thickness, without any gooiness. It's just a liquid. It just goes on and sinks into your skin straight away and just revives it. It's amazing. So yeah, for such an affordable, for such an affordable product as well, I mean, you just can't go wrong. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this part 1 of my skincare favorites for 2016. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining me and supporting my channel in 2016. I look forward to making awesome content for you guys in 2017. I have so many ideas, and my health is finally improving, so that's good. I think I'm over the worst of it for now. Touch wood, touch wood. So yes, I hope you guys are having an awesome time and, you know, a fantastic start to 2017. Keep on being your awesome, gorgeous, chronically fabulous selves. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so that you don't miss the other 7 videos that I have planned coming up for my 2016 favorites. And yeah, I shall see you guys soon.